Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. And today I have for you a 2 versus 2. Yes, indeed, a 2 versus 2 on rails and metals. Yes, indeed, exciting. Roar. And who shall be fighting? Well, here in the northern half, we shall be seeing GhostTX and ACshouse. Something. Yes, indeed. Fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 3rd Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be dsMoe and Latrodectus unloaded. Fighting for the 2nd Panzer Division for the glorious Reich. We will have to be seeing if he needs to be shouting at his teammate to get him moving. But let's in fact see if that will be necessary. We will be seeing some slightly more better team play. Of course, we'll also be seeing what these two chaps were up to. We're seeing a dual barrack start from the Americans. This is good to see. And from here, we're seeing not quite as much. We're seeing a few Panzer Grenadiers on the way. That's the usual thing. Wehrmacht quarters going up here. And Kit Crowd moving towards the mission point. Probably going to hit towards here, you know. It's sort of one of the vital hinge points of the entire map. Again, with this building able to cover a lot. And the Wehrmacht player might try to stuff some units in there. Of course, the question is, will it also be trying to sort of maintain a line here? Will it be going support? Will it be going somewhat, reasonably balanced force? What will he be doing? And meanwhile, engineers spreading out, having both set up their barracks. Going for munitions, going for fuel, going for other bits. Going for apple pie. And there we go, point secure. Panzer Grenadiers advancing, not securing the house by the looks of things. Gewehr 43 in hand. They keep moving for the glory of the fatherland. They are not to be stopped. More Panzer Grenadiers on the way. MG up for dsMoe and the more infantry element of the 2nd Panzer Division, probably more motorized Panzer Grenadiers, while these are the slightly more mechanized engineers on the move. And there we go, the Panzers continue, probably hoping to do a bit of harassment right against the engineers early on. There we go. Gewehr 43 fire against engineers, but riflemen on their way as well. Panzer Grenadiers right swiftly find themselves a bit outnumbered on the run. Riflemen hunting them down. More Panzer Grenadiers are moving in. An early blow, MG 42 moving in. And now we are seeing a buying out for dsMoe. Further fighting here. Rifleman bites the dust. Not quite though, he's wounded. Shot in the gut. More riflemen moving in. And the Panzer Grenadiers are a bit of trouble. They could be under fire from both sides, but no. ACshouse does not focus down the retreating ones, allowing the others to get to safety reasonably. And these riflemen could end up in a lot of trouble. They're out in the open, out negative cover. Oh dear, taking heavy losses as well. Some pretty good fighting here from the Panzer Grenadiers and a full retreat. MG opening up as well somewhere, and we're seeing a forward barracks already. I think that's a bit inadvisable, considering it is going to be quite a resource investment right from the beginning on something that can't actually fight, and that's certainly going to be shifting over the focus onto Latrodectus' shoulders. And again, it could mean a bit too much support right there. So already there, Panzer Grenadier down. Now the pressure is really on Latrodectus. He's trying to push on, but of course there's nothing to really support him. No pioneers, no MGs, or full Skylanders, no bike to sort of assist. So currently Latrodectus is doing most of the fighting, though he is sort of keeping the losses to a minimum so far. Of course, question is for how long will that last. Kettenkrad awfully close to the enemy, and the rifleman rather realize that's an easy target, one that can't fire back. Rifleman down, Kettenkrad away. And the forward barracks is up, barbed wire being laid down. Oh dear, and rifleman pushing on. Panzer Grenadiers are in fact retreating. Another down. Kampfgruppe companies up, and our infantry half-tanks on the way, like to Schützen Panzerwagen. More and more riflemen pushing onwards, and this is less good. And also note, these are in fact, I both believe, level 16. But, there's nothing wrong in putting on machine gun in place, but again, it should sort of be in consideration with how many other troops you have on the field, when and how. This one is probably to sort of protect this area. But, I might have recommended at least something a bit more to sort of keep the pressure up. There's a time for everything, and I don't quite think this is time to sort of be spending resources on things that can't directly attack. And now, of course, sort of digging in. Panzer Grenadiers nearby the forward barracks, getting reinforced. Infantry half-track moving. No, wait, there we go, moving in. And more Gewehr 43s on the way.
The enemy has moved against one of Germany's victory points.
Sneaking in at every angle. Machine gun emplacement is ready. Panzer could be running into it. And now full grenades have arrived. And there we go, 30 caliber opening up on the Panzer grenades, which snag a bit too far up. Flamethrowers moving in, but they are quite a bit out in the open, quite exposed. Could go down. No, they look like they might be making out there. We're also seeing a medic station up pretty early on. Medics are a bit exposed there and are quickly getting cut down. Panzer grenades once more under fire. There we go, quickly suppressed. One thing to note, Panzer grenades have something called elite armor, which grants them a bit of protection, but at the same time it also renders them a bit easier to suppress, in fact. I mean, so a 30 caliber, for example, isn't going to be completely a miss right there. For example, if of course he goes heavy on them, but he doesn't. Instead, he does have an infantry half-track, and he's in fact putting infantry in it. Good to see there by Latrodectus. Fighting from the half-track. Although not the best situation. Why is he putting up a bloody bunker right in the middle of everything? Not clear the best thing, but there we go. Cancelling it. Rifleman under fire. Trying to flank in from several approaches. Panzer still suppressed. Still fighting. Rifleman going down. Veterans again, in fact. Could it be for those in the half-track? No, it's for these chaps and getting offensive. That's good. Palming into the half-track to get out of the fire, out of the danger. Others could pop up, but of course. Oh, well, there we go. Leaving once more. Volkswagen is taking heavy losses. So is everyone in this fight. And now BAR is equipped for GhostTX. Still nothing really for ACshouse. I mean, it could be nice if you, for example, went for grenades. That could really prove to be a problem if they could get close, you know. Sneak in through here, up here, grenade through the window, bam! And then sort of clear it up, but does not look like he has that in mind. Which is a bit of a shame. He does have a supply yard up. Nothing like that for GhostTX. His rifleman is not forced back, having fought quite a fight right there. In the end, though, the second Panzer Division won that. Rifleman trying to take a point here. Not entirely sure that was the best idea, you know. Probably should have focused, you know, on killing the Panzer grenades in the strong point here. Quite the mismanagement move right there by Mr. ACshouse. Rifleman getting gunned down here by half-track and MG, and looks like he's already acquired Panzer Schreck for his Panzer Grenadiers. Clearly knowing what he wants. More engineers moving in. Not quite out on the medic station because the medics keep getting gunned down. Also, it's going to be a bit limited in its range. I mean, he can only get the things around here. Nothing around here. So, again, I think that might have been moved. Flamethrowers charging in. MGs being forced away, but oh dear. Engineer team down. And he's trying to sort of decapture it, but that's not really going to work. Panzers move in. Get out of there. Oh dear. Again, ACshouse doesn't quite seem to sort of grasp the concept of an assault. We're in fact also seeing a medic station up for GhostTX. Trouble was, ACshouse doesn't quite actually have a lot of infantry, and again, he probably could have done with some grenades. Certainly a bit of a wasted opportunity there, I think. In the meanwhile, though, GhostTX has been sneaking about here, taking points away from the Axis, from the 2nd Panzer Division. It's actually time to look at dsMoe. No doctrines as of yet for either player. Grenadiers on survey. Actually, note he doesn't actually have a lot on the field. Again, he spent a bit too much again, so again, sort of Latrodectus taking the main blows, the main punches, the main beatings. Kenkrad under quite a bit of fire. Oh dear, Latrodectus, you silly person. You threw away that Kenkrad, didn't you? But half-tracks moving in. A good mobile force right there. 2 infantry half-tracks. Full of wiry Panzer Grenadiers with the Gewehr 43s and MGs, of course, mounted. So there we go. Riflemen taking quite a few losses already. Oh dear, do not underestimate the infantry half-track. And there we go, the power of the infantry half-tracks with Panzer Grenadiers in them. I mean, a lot of players really underestimate the power of a good, solid infantry half-track with Panzer Grenadiers in it. I mean, some just use them as sort of armor cart, don't use that. And of course, some just use them as mobile reinforcement points. But again, you know, use them with your Panzer Grenadiers and you're really going to get a lot of firepower. Rifleman out there. Oh dear, he could be losing another 2 teams if he's not careful. Half-tracks on the move. A bit clumsy pathing though. That's really their major downfall there. And there you go, lots of fire being just fired on these riflemen. Quite a bit of wounding going on. And they're probably, oh dear, yes, now they're going to be killed very soon. Latrodectus probably could have been a bit more aggressive with his pushing, but never mind. Yes, indeed, he's just flanking about, ignoring the cover, of course. Let's remember, cover is directional. And now we're just seeing those riflemen getting torn to bits. Another team probably going to be lost on the retreat. And no sticky bombs either. Of course, the BARs can do a bit of damage, but again, they're standing out in the open. They're not seeking cover. And again, that's why American players usually underestimate the infantry half-track. I mean, units out in the open against a half-track with Panzer grenades in it is simply getting to get decimated. Again, note the high losses. I mean, excellent use of the infantry half-track, excellent use of the Panzer Grenadiers. Good Panzer Grenadier commander right there in Latrodectus. Which could end up having with some imaginary swords to his imaginary knight's cross with imaginary oak leaves. And Grenadiers moving about with Panzer checks. Seems a bit heavy there. Rather than out in the open, although again they are sort of still holding the most of the map and most of the victory points. They were able to do a bit of damage here while Latrodectus were elsewhere. But again, the losses sort of done to GhostTX were simply too extreme, too high. And they're still not really getting much out of their medic stations, I'm afraid. And now these riflemen need to get out of there. Oh dear. For some people who are seemingly that high rank, they do seem to be suffering a bit now. An M8 moving in. No anti-tank assets besides a lot of Panzer mines hit. Good job there from the Allies mining. And yeah, we are rather noticing something here. Let's just briefly pause actually to explain this and go over to GhostTX. But some of you are already wondering, well, what am I on about? Well, we are seeing another machine gun replacement. Again, resources I think should have been spent elsewhere, but it's the sort of idea some players have, you know, let's block off one point, then I can actually forget about them. There we go. I mean, such stuff like this is not really the sort of thing to just hold the line. It's there to delay them. It's there to sort of give you time to perhaps react with another force flank or whatever, but he's basically expecting it to hold all of this, and that could easily end up being a problem, in particular since, you know, the tank traps are rather reliant on no one actually just crashing through the stone walls next to them. And that's quite a bit of a flaw, in particular since the wall would basically be either some explosives or even something slightly armor like a Panzer IV or a Hetzer if you decided to get that. So, you know, keep that in mind. Or, you know, Panzer Trek, you know, which the Panzer Grenadiers are equipped with. But of course, at the same time, you know, currently most of the fighting is being done by Latrodectus. He's doing quite a job, you know, already quite a few kills and quite a bit of veterans. I mean, it's extreme. And oh dear, he's going for more machine gun emplacements. ACshouse needs to really get aggressive, you know, push. He's giving up the initiative, and that's always a bad thing, in particular in the way he's doing it. Let us return, and that was just to sort of briefly illustrate that point. Supply out on the way, rather than getting reinforced. M8 moving about a bit as well, opening up on the Grenadiers. You probably do have a Kampfkraft center here, so of course the 4 barracks can set about creating a Pack 38, or at least getting one out. Panzer Shrek rocket connects with the M8. Again, heavy losses for GhostTX, absolutely horrific. No doctrine choice. He could go for infantry, call in some artillery, and then push through. Perhaps that might work. Might work, but of course, question is, does he go for that, or does he go for something else? Supply it up. Nice to see. Always almost close there to 300 in manpower. Mines being laid down by GhostTX. And some flamethrowers. Interesting. Pioneers away. Half-track force quickly moves in. And immediately suppresses the engineers and quickly cuts them down as well. Again, excellent use of infantry half-tracks and Panzer Grenadiers. Absolutely marvellous. Now coming on a bit of fire there from the rifleman with the BAS and heavy cover. That's only going to make them a bit less, but of course now carving out with the Panzer Grenadiers. I might actually recommend getting the Panzer Shakes out and trying to blow away the cover. M8 moves into support. And we're seeing another assault here. Grenadiers getting suppressed. Also note, and I just want to briefly explain this. Some people seem to think, you know, that once the Grenadiers get elite armor, that is Veteran 2, they get resistance to suppression. They don't. In fact, elite armor makes them easier to suppress. They get easier to suppress. Note that they get easier to suppress. I mean, you might think, why that? They're veteran troops. Yes, exactly. They know they shouldn't be standing up. And of course, also note, once they're suppressed, they're harder to hit. But of course, they're also a bit harder to actually shoot back. So of course, but you know, keep that in mind. Very important bit. Oh dear, these rounds are getting absolutely hammered. We are in fact seeing Panzer rockets hit. Again, not really choosing the right fights to spot. The spots to fight. And flamethrowers on the half-track content. We're seeing artillery called in. Oh dear, right on the mobile forces. I think that's a bit of a waste. And not pushing in with the M8 to do more damage. Oh well. I might rather recommend it, perhaps, you know, trying to break through here with it. False Grenadiers and MGs keeping everything at bay. Pioneer team down, lost what actually was a grenade, so it might mean that Mr. ACshouse finally went for one. A bit late. More mines being laid down there, not entirely sure why. But they need to press through, they need to attack. And I'd also recommend an anti-tank gun to perhaps, begin dealing with these half-tracks in a slightly more aggressive and steadfast manner. Mines being cleared out. Kencrowd spotting the way. Panzer, and we are in fact seeing increased squad sizes for Latrodectus' second Panzer Grenadiers. Good to see. More moving out. Not so good. 43s. We're not seeing anything else. In fact, he's still not moved away beyond the initial buildings. He has no Panzer Support Command or Panzerjäger Command. That's quite interesting. He's really, opting for the half-tracks and the Panzer Grenadiers initially. Good to see. And moving up with half-tracks here. And yes, indeed, he's going to be blowing holes in the walls. Great lateral finger here by Latrodectus. Just sort of figuring, yes, there are tanks, but those stone walls can easily be sorted out. Grenadiers here holding the line. MG trying to suppress. Not entirely sure why it clumped up like that. Seems like their tactics and strategies are falling apart. And of course now just driving past the machine gun emplacement with Panzer Division. Good move right there. And yes, again, sometimes you just get some really odd players there that are so high ranked, which again is sort of the indication, that's always quite right, because again, a lot of things can happen. Veteran 3 for the infantry of dsMoe. Rather than moving in. And it's also sort of one of the reasons why it can be so hard to get a good and proper 2 versus 2 game, I feel, because a lot could get up to a bit too one-sided in one man or the other. And he's flanking through here, interestingly enough. Not entirely sure what he's actually hoping to achieve. Seems a bit odd. He could be going for the cutoff point there. Of course, perhaps hope to, do a bit of nasty business there. But he needs the M8 away. Oh, get it away, get it away. M8 mine right in front of the entrance. That's actually pretty damn clever. But no, Hetzer Jagdpanzer has been called in. Of course, I haven't saw with this breeze. Of course, let's just imagine somewhere near their dens. I mean, it certainly looks, depressing enough for it. Hürtgen Forest once more. M8 goes down though. The Hetzer was too much. And we are seeing an assault going in through here. Half-tracks pulling away. And what is going on? I have no idea. They're trying to hunt down the half-tracks. Not quite with any luck. Kencrowd could, yes, goes up in flames. Americans forced to retreat through the lines, losing a rifleman right there. One emplacement down. Again, you don't go for that in that manner. Oh dear, these Panzers could be in trouble. And we are seeing sticky bombs going off in the half-track. One rifleman though, a bit too close. Getting suppressed, damaged engine. They're really doing their best to sort of clear them out. And there we go, another sticky bomb off. But now they open. Oh dear, just getting shredded by the Panzer Grenadiers. Very, very careless assault right there. And again, taking extreme losses. Extreme. Oh dear. Certainly a bit of a rarity to see such effective use again of the infantry after and the Panzer Grenadiers. So again, that's rather the reason why I show it. I mean, most just think so, just spamming, devolves into spamming Panzer Grenadiers, getting armored cars, and that's about it. So I mean, I'm rather showing this because it rather involves some things you don't see that often. And of course also to note these sort of problems with this sort of approach, which again, Latrodectus sort of handily solves and demonstrates why it's rubbish. Now of course the second machine gun emplacement going out. And again, unit preservation really hasn't been the Allies' forte this game. I mean, they certainly, they try to keep something with those medic stations, but they don't quite achieve it. And both have in fact gone for infantry. Both have Rangers, hoping for that to save their asses. Rangers holding out. Fighting against the Panzer, slowly taking losses, slowly bleeding out. Now we're seeing a weapon support center for GhostTX, pushing through here once more. It looks like the 2nd Panzer Division is able to collapse the lines of the 30th Infantry. Another assault moving in. Rangers getting out of their rifle, getting suppressed. Looking a bit grim after having done so well, but again, those rather costly attacks and rather underestimating the power of those half-tracks with panzer grenades in them really did not pay off. There we go, moving in once more. Bazooka rockets flying, missing. Most close to blowing up a panzer grenadier. Oh dear, flaps. So let's try again. And let's go also look at ACshouse. If no. And once more, yes indeed. Rangers rifle fighting through here. Bit of fighting going on here. Building under heavy fire. Anti-tank gun though needs to get out of there. Fraps, come on. Back for now, I think, yes.
That almost hit me. AK squad under fire.
Good assessment right there, both infantry doctrine. Good thing to tell your teammate in case he doesn't know. Which fraps would act nicely.
Losing ground out there.
Anti-tank gun getting badly chewed up. Lots of grenadiers, lots of panzer effects on that behalf. Assault moving in, getting suppressed by all those infantry half-tracks. No offensive infantry for them, that could actually be of help as well. Bazooka rockets impacting, but not quite knocking it out. Oh dear, these riflemen need to get out of there again. Unit preservation, GhostTX. Unit preservation, you're getting careless, sloppy, and the panzer grenadiers are simply chewing up. In particular now, I mean, note these two panzer grenadier teams, 4 man each, have almost, chewed through 100 riflemen. I mean, really, quite something else. And certainly also shows again this sort of difference between, a 1 versus 1 play and a 2 versus 2. I mean, and that's also one of the reasons why perhaps also stay away from the higher ranking game, because again, the more players, there's a lot more, waste going on essentially, As well, they don't really quite have the same ability to retain their units in a live state. Except apparently Latrodectus, who just seems to know what to do. Rangers moving in. And calling in artillery on this spot. This could actually work. A bit too clumped up. Oh dear, Grenadiers taking quite some losses. Oh my goodness, those were some pretty heavy losses. Grenadiers just getting absolutely torn to bits. No grenades to follow up. A bit of a shame that. Oh, come on, fraps. But it is actually time for the mid-game analysis. What is the situation? Well, it's looking pretty grim for the Allies. They've been taking some ridiculously high losses. They've, in some cases, basically thrown away men in a manner not really helpful. Again, partly due to, I think, really just severely underestimating the power of infantry half-tracks and panzer grenadiers work together, which is something even a lot of panzer elite players do, because they sort of just go for armored cars and think, well, that's great, that's just Marmite. And of course they just sort of casually forget that panzer grenadiers and infantry half-tracks work great together. But there you go. Certainly taught that, and of course again this sort of decision right here again backfired, as the Panzer Elite was just basically able to just waltz right in. Mortars being sent up, although right here a bit of a mistake by dsMoe. Lots of artillery called in, although the Americans are still running in. We are seeing actually some mortars going up. This is good, although some smoke could have been helpful, I think. Then marking up with flamethrowers. Flaps still being tiresome. My apologies. No idea why it wants to act like that all of a sudden. We are seeing also some snipers who are getting something out of that weapon support, and I suppose is alright. Medic bunker up here by dsMoe, also good to see, although Latrodectus might of course need to support his teammate. Interesting enough, he's not using that header at all to actually support. Put out a bit of armor. Backbone could be good, could be very good. By the way, let's return to this disaster of the day for the Allies. Mortar rounds flying in. And of course, note this is the second cast for today, because, well, I got 1,500 subscribers just recently. Of course, I couldn't because of the exam, which I did quite well. Got the highest possible grade in that exam, in fact. Anyways, I mean, So again, just sort of casting this. Of course, also a fun note. I mean, I got just 200 subscribers in less than a month. So of course, I hope I can keep up this rate. That's certainly going to end up quite lovely and soon enough. Good grenade right there, but you know, I think they should have gotten grenades a lot earlier. Again, something a lot of Americans underestimate the power of a good, solid pineapple grenade. Sniper moving in. Has already sniped, so of course, dsMoe and notifying, of course, this is good. Medics pulling in their wounded, and looks like one rifle team has been put together. This is only helpful for him. Harvards are now getting set up. It looks like a tank depot was attempted there, but cancelled. And dsMoe holding on. Now it's almost ready. Rangers, riflemen getting reinforced and put together. Small assault here. Mines getting knocked out. Thanks to the Kettenkrad. The almighty Kettenkrad. Rangers on the line and getting just simply stormed by Panzer Grenadiers. Again, this is not looking good, and they don't have submachine guns themselves. They need to get out of their retreat. Does not really look like to be one of their forties, you know. Knowing when to retreat and hold your ground, a bit of a problem, I think. Sniper on top on those Grenadiers. Flamethrowers and rifle moving in. Could be seeing a grenade right now on these Grenadiers. That could be great. A grenade would be great. We're seeing mortar rounds. One, the sniper isn't firing. Is beyond me. He could have done that a lot earlier. Instead, he's actually held his fire and is now just getting chewed up by those Grenadiers. In fact, he's not going to make it out alive, I think. Yes, there we go. Shot through the head. Some Grenadiers barely make it out there, but again, with this bit of sniper, could have completely sorted this out in a different manner. Rangers on the run. Looks pretty disastrous for the Allies. In fact, let's return to Latrodectus. Floating quite a bit of resources. Not good, but still considering the situation. And again, I suppose this is another lesson, you know, high rank 2 versus 2 players don't necessarily mean the same as high rank 1 versus 1 players. It's a bit of a shame, but again, it's sort of the dynamics of a 2 versus 2, and it sort of just gets worse as you add in more players. There's a much larger tendency for some to just sort of do most of the work, and of course a lot of players can sort of feel more relaxed and do a lot more silly things that wouldn't actually work in a 1 versus 1. Which is also certainly what I'd recommend, you know, if you want to actually learn how to play the game. Play 1 versus 1, they could also try 2 versus 1, of course, I think if a lot more rec team game players actually played a 1 versus 1 first, they could probably get something better out of it. Rifleman absolutely shattered by a grenade right there. Artillery flying in. Looks like the Allies are setting up for a vast assault towards the west instead. Running at the half-tech, lots of pancakes and that. Bazookas and everything. Flamethrowers, of course, no troops inside the half-tech can still actually be damaged. If, in some cases, a grenade, for example, if it lands right into it, can actually clear it out. Kettenkrad could be lost. Oh dear. Kettenkrad is kaput. It's, where is the header actually? Oh, it's there. Rangers moving forwards, fired up. Of course, they're going to get exhausted right in front of their head, so that's less good.
Panzer, we're losing a fuel depot to the enemy.
Looks like it'll be another daring attempt by the Allies to break out of this mess. Panzer grenades popping out again. Veterans E3, Panzer grenades for Gewehr 43s and BARs. And some others with assault rifles and BARs. Oh my goodness. They're just tearing through everything. Half-tank taking quite a bit of fire. Bazooka rockets going in. No grenades on the Panzer grenades again. Why no grenades? Oh dear, these Rangers got absolutely torn apart. Hoping to knock out this half-track, but again, and there we go. Half-track down, but what about the Panzer? Oh, rifleman team down. And now these Rangers could be lost as well. Simply too much fire. We're seeing grenades now finally going off. Doing a bit of damage, but not quite enough. And another Ranger team down. They really don't seem to quite grasp the whole prioritizing targets and, of course, killing enemies properly. Getting absolutely hammered here. But again, pretty rare you see a game where Panzer Grenadiers get used like that. Artillery now moving in here. Flying a bit too high. Again, sort of spread. And again, all map artillery basically works, you know, particularly in terms of scatter, you know, how far away is the artillery piece from the target. So, for example, here, quite a bit of scatter. For example, or even here, you know, independent and stays. For example, that purpose, of course, is the line of sight. I mean, if someone can see to direct the artillery fire, great. Otherwise, it's again going to be pretty inaccurate. So things like that are good to remember. Grenadiers moving in, rather than moving out to stop that. Mortar keeps firing but doesn't quite hit anything. Now we're seeing a heavy machine gun. I think it's a bit too late for that. Could have been great here, but you know, he didn't have it then. And back. Now the heavy machine gun is setting up right there. Not entirely sure why. Really looks like everything has fallen apart for the Allies. They've simply suffered too high losses, too much attrition. I mean, Latrodectus has barely been suffering anything. He lost a few Kettenkrats, some Panzer Grenadiers with no full teams, and of course a half-track. That's about it. Otherwise, when again, no. I mean, now in fact they have probably these two teams taking apart over 100 American infantrymen. These are simply killers, murderers, or heroes of the Reich, depending of course which side you're looking on at it.
Veteran sergeant is available for assignment.
These are the sort of men who could have held Omaha Beach on their own and won. More Panzers moving in, more assault rifles, and these chaps are just holding the line with the offensive veterans, the Gewehr 43s and the BARs. Another half-track, a mortar half-track in fact coming out there. Machine gun opening up, mine hit. These Panzers are running into a bit of problem actually, but the others charging in, running right into the Rangers though. Flamethrowers getting singled out. Still no grenades, still no submachine guns grenade going off right in front of them. Not quite having any luck with that. More mines hit as the Panzers retreat. But the team still survive. This is actually a bit of a setback, but I think it's a bit too late to really matter too much for Latrodectus, I think. Might be wrong. Hetzers and other bits holding the line. And now that Kettenkrat bites the dust, Latrodectus seemingly having a high turnover rate amongst his Kettenkrats. Pax here providing a nice deterrent line. MG bunker on the way, I think, actually, with more MGs in it. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Bit quiet here. Hope you found this game interesting and fun. You know, not perhaps the highest, but again, I'm not really getting a lot of the high level or even sort of medium level. Again, it's sort of a lot of, you know, hey, let's throw in some novice games, which is great for Mondays and all that, but, you know, it does provide a bit of problems for, you know, other days. And a lot of the other regulars don't themselves really feel they have any good games either, so it's a bit of a problem. I'm certainly doing my best, but, you know, having a bit of problems here. And of course, I can't also plan to run some of my own games, but, you know, I can't do that too much either, because then again, that also gets boring. I mean, even for me. Because I don't really have any good games either at the moment. Fighting going on here. Rangers pushing on. Mortar veterans too. That's at least a small comfort. Probably one of the few units that are veteran and still alive. Standing out in the open really does not seem to be that cover is the strong suit. Grenadiers hit. Mortar doesn't score any kills, and there we go. More Grenadiers, more Panzer Grenadiers pushing on. The 2nd Panzer Division leading the true esprit de corps. Rangers with submachine guns, but they're standing out, taking a point. Oh dear. And lots of grenades. Oh dear, these... Yes, oh dear, that didn't go very well. It looks like these Grenadiers managed to snag a BAR, Browning automatic rifle. Now, in fact, might be seeing some armor coming out for the Americans. I think it's a bit too late for that to hope for armor. In fact, he's got a tank depot, but he's not even using it. A bit of a waste, and of course, also a bit of a waste. They both went for infantry. I mean, if one of them perhaps had gone airborne, you know, strafing rounds could have done a lot of damage. Or, for example, you know, tank on the armor doctrine with perhaps a Pershing or a Calliope, but, you know, again, that's sort of one of the problems. Again, when both goes, you know, for the same doctrine, you lose a lot of flexibility, a lot of ability to do different things, and have a wide variety of tools. Grenadiers caught in the middle of everything, and lots of grenades getting clumped onto them. Oh dear, full retreat Grenadier team down. dsMoe certainly has suffered a bit. Latrodectus on the other one seems to have been having a bit of a picnic. Well, he's been doing ridiculously well, which is certainly good to see.
Enemy is down to 100 points.
But the Americans are not out of the fight now. In fact, seeing as German, have this actually been quite early. I mean, Latrodectus could have been a bit of a problem then again. Lots of Panzer, and of course the Hetzer. Panzer Grenadiers down.
Territory.
Barbed wire being laid down here. This is actually a good thing to see. Hetzer and Sherman facing off. In fact, the Sherman though pulls out. Not quite keen on facing off against that dreadful Hetzer. Rangers moving in towards the flank grenades going off. Panzer Grenadiers taking damage. Bit of infantry for the flamethrowers. Mortar moving in. No idea why there. And no idea why the Rangers aren't sticking about to support the Sherman against the Hetzer. That would have been great. In fact, the Sherman has actually gotten veterans who won. Interesting. I mean, it's been able to quite easily rack up some kills instead. Lots of dead Panzer Rangers. Another team down. Americans, in fact, breaking through here. Just barely. We're seeing a Flag 88. Surrey going in. Bite survives a sticky bomb thanks to Veterancy 2. Yes, indeed, it can do that. It gets a bit of damage reduction in other bits. So, I mean, quite impressive. Sherman moves in right in the middle of everything. Right in front of the Flag 88. Oh, dear. That Yankee Panzer is going to go kaput. Sherman out of control, Riven getting torn to bits. And Knight's Cross, dsMoe has secured the Knights of the Cross. It's a German Iron Cross, yes indeed. Oh dear, this is just horrific. This is pretty much the end of the 30th Infantry Division. I think. Houses still standing, but not quite managing much. Hoping to sticky bomb that Hetzer. Hetzer hoping to kill some Yankees. Knight's Cross moving in. Ritterkreuz. There we go.
50 points left.
And the Panzer Grenadiers of Doom. Ensuring those Yankees won't make it home alive except in a pine box. More artillery fire going in here. Oh! Bugger me, Pioneers and Medic. Gone in a plume of blood and dust. This is pretty much it, I think. Rangers charging in once more. Barely any points left. Knight's Cross leading the charge. And GG, there we go. Victory for the Third Reich, for the 2nd Panzer Division in the face of the American 30th Infantry Division. Of course, again, perhaps not the highest ranking, again. Not quite getting any of that, so of course again, try to provide yourself, get some others to do so. If you know any that are sort of high ranking or reasonably ranked. And of course, just get more attention about the channel certainly helps. And of course, again, great, I've got 1,500 subscribers, amazing, and a big thanks to all of my subscribers, old and new. Hurrah, indeed. And of course, what can we learn from this match? Well, of course, we saw some interesting things like, again, great usage of infantry half-tanks. Really amazing. Spectacular. And of course, a abysmal reaction to it. Really underestimating gravely and losing a lot of troops. The Americans, one of the major problems was, they didn't know when to stand their ground and when to get the bloody hell out of there. They simply lost too many men, and the Axis were really able to capitalize on that. With a capital C to that capitalize. Yes, I know, quite capital. And of course, good usage generally of troops, good unit preservation from Latrodectus. He mostly lost Kettenkrats. A bit more dodgy with the dsMoe, but he was certainly able to hold his own as well. Nice coordination on the other hand with the Allies. Again, they both went for the same doctrine. Not good. They really missed an opportunity there, I think, with grenades. And again, too many machine gun emplacements too fast. And of course, also the sort of idea, just a few tank traps and barbed wires over the line, which, Latrodectus easily solved with Panzer Treks. So, not exactly a huge puzzle or riddle. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? And of course, tell other people. So there you go. Cheers.